Hello. This is the first of what will be many videos of me casting a recording of myself playing Flesh and Blood on talishari.net. For the most part, I will be playing as FaB. He's the hero I play, and the purpose of this is to rewatch my old decision making and determine if now, in the future, I still agree with those choices. In this game, I'm playing against Dorinthea. Boarding decisions are taking out non-blocks and the worst 2 blocks on my list, so even bigger than that. And double strike, bringing in some 3 blocks, bringing in D-reacts. The game plan here is to put them on the play. Much better for me. I get to block with my opening hand. Hoping to have big turn, small turn, where I'll reset Dawnblade. Really what happens in these matchups is that I do my best to set that up. Usually it fails because I'll draw a hand that doesn't block. But here we are just setting up, throwing the entire hand in front of the Dawnblade. It's unfortunate they have the Command and Conquer, so we'll just take 6. Good news is we do have an Art of War. This is not the hand to play. In fact, this is not a good hand generally, but we'll get to keep the Art of War. So E-Strike for 5, go again, followed up by Snatch. Is really the best I can do. I don't feel good about it, but nothing in our hand pitches easily for Kadachi. Lava Vein can't get go again. I don't want to use Snaps on turn 1 if I can avoid it. They have all of their armor. I wouldn't want to throw Snatch, but I've really been making an effort to respect opponent's armor if I'm going to do a Snatch Snapdragon start. So we leak a little damage. 2 here. I'm expecting them to block this Snatch, which they do. So we get 4 of their armor, which is good for us. We get an Art of War and Arsenal. This hand is pretty good to Art of War. Dawnblade does not have any counters, so I'm not incentivized to block it anyway. They get to do a bunch of stuff. Who cares? If they wanted to bolters here, that'd be great for us because they would not have blocked with it before destroying it. So here I am deciding whether I want to Art of War or whether I want to just do a big Spreading Flames turn. Spreading Flames brand Kadachi is a great line. Spreading Flames gets 5 points of value from that, 3 from itself, 1 from the Kadachi being Draconic, 1 from the Phoenix Flame that I can now bring back from my graveyard for free. Looking at this now, this is a pretty good hand. I'm not really incentivized to Art of War, but I do agree with the decision. I don't know if I would make it again. Banishing the Snatch because I want the brand in case I need it to pitch. I don't want Snatch in case I draw one of the 7 other finishers in my deck. 3 Lavivers, 2 Salts, 2 Snatches. There are E-Strikes in there. I don't want to have to Snaps this early. So we are just setting up, like I said, Kadachi. We're going to make this Kadachi attack for 2. Then using Sync here on the brand is credible for us. Kadachi comes in for 2. We have a couple of options here. We could Mounting Anger for 5, get the Phoenix Flame back, and set up Phoenix Flame for 3. That line is less good because they get to block it, and I am expecting them to. So we're just throwing the Phoenix Flame first. If they don't block this, they'll have to block Mounting Anger for 6, or else I draw. If they do block it, I can either Arsenal the Mounting Anger, or I can throw it for 6. Wouldn't get the on-hit, but if I was making this decision now, if they don't block this, Mounting Anger is easy. If they do block it, I would throw the Mounting Anger anyway. It would get 6 points of value. Their hand would be pretty reduced. I want to catch up on life here, and I'm fine not having an arsenal. They do block. I decide to Kodachi for a point of damage instead of an arsenal. Looking back, I don't know if I agree with this decision. I understand it, but I don't agree with it. They open with a steel blade, so we are just blocking here. We're not going to let this hit. We're blocking for 5. We're expecting to sink. This hand, they don't react, which is fine for me. This hand we can set up 1/1/4, Kodachi Kodachi Mounting Anger, get a block that way, or we can 4/1/5. If they do block the Mounting Anger early, then they are unlikely to stop the Lava Burst late. This line just lets us play the card if Mounting Anger does hit. I think this is a fine decision. Talishar is buggy. If this was in paper, we would draw for Mask of Momentum first. We would have chosen this brand to not broadcast exactly what we're doing. But as it is, we get to brand for 1. Lava Burst for 7. We're putting a Syncblow on Arsenal. They're keeping a 5-card hand here, so I'm assuming they're going to do something gross. So having the Sync is great. We have 2 3 blocks, which is great. We have a 3-link turn if we block with our 3 blocks and our Syncblow. So this is a great example of a game where we can't afford to do big turn, small turn. We can block with our 3 blocks here. If we block nothing, this hand is actually really good for going on offense. That is what it looks like I'm opting to do, which I think is fine. We'll see if I block with the blue Lava Vein. I am really priced into blocking with Lava Burst as well later on in the turn because, well, not necessarily. We'll see. If I was doing this now, let's see, before I make this choice in the replay, considering that they blocked with, or they activated Courage, I am thinking that they're going to do some heinous stuff. On the other hand, I'm at 28, and they haven't played Steel Blade, they haven't played Supremacy, or Glistening Steel Blade Supremacy. Looking at this now, this hand, I get to go 2, 1, 2, 1, 3, 5, playing this out. I'm fine to just take this damage. If they want to throw some attack reactions here and just get Dawnblade up to a counter, push 15 points of damage, that's fine. I keep a Sync. I'm still going to threaten Mask. They have very little armor left. If I was to redo this, I would go full aggro. And it looks like that's what I'm doing here. Feindal to get up to 21 is fine. Run through is fine. It's just getting to go again. The next attack will be for 5. But again, what are they threatening that I care about? This is just damage. And anytime you play against a Dorinthea, this is where we really get. Sometimes we just don't block and we race because it's fine, we'll out-damage Dorinthea. And see here they push it up to 11. Okay, we took 14 damage this turn and Dawnblade got a counter. We're going to push 14 damage and we still have the opportunity to block Dawnblade on our next turn. So a good rule of thumb, playing Kodachis, I forget this a lot myself when I play in paper, is that a brand plus a pitch for Kodachi is just whatever a pitch is for plus brand. That's how many links you're getting in the turn. So brand plus a blue is 4 links. The brand, 2 Kodachis, and the Phoenix Flame. What I am working on now in my own play is not leading with the brand if I don't have to. And here I have 1 resource floating. I have 2 Draconic starters in hand. So I'm going to get to pick up my Phoenix Flame, regardless of what happens. What that means is I can backload more of my damage. And we saw how that worked, where the opponent, I 1-1-2, the opponent blocked my 2-power attack with a 3 defense card, which is great. So here we're going to watch me be distracted by OBS on my first day of using it and make a bad blocking choice, because I have 2 Sync Blows. I'm expecting to use at least one on this Dawnblade. Dawnblade being 4 and almost all of Dorinthea's attack reactions being +3 means that I should block 7. And I'm going to block with armor here anyway. I'm going to advertise what I'm doing. So I should block with Furnace and Mask of Momentum. What I'm going to block with is just Mask of Momentum. Sync Below then takes that up to 6, so that I have to use my second Sync Blow on any of their attack reactions, like a dumb person. So this should be Mask of Momentum and Furnace blocking. The other decision to make here is, am I blocking with Mask of Momentum or am I blocking with Shuko? In this situation, see, and here's the route, which doesn't get the route effect, but it does add +3, which I should have been able to block, but didn't because I'm bad at this game, which is why I'm doing this. It isn't a total loss. I could choose to take this damage. I don't want to, because I want to reset the Dawnblade going into the rest of this game. Blocking with the second Sync Below here prevents the possibility of another attack reaction pushing it over the top, but it'd be great if I didn't have to do that. It'd be great if I had to make the opponent act instead of acting myself. I'm not syncing anything because this is still 5 links. The choice between Shuko and Mask of Momentum, I agree with. It's difficult, and with them at 9 life, if they were at 4 life, I would say block with Mask of Momentum. If they were at 15 life, I would say block with Shuko. But then being at 9 is a weird place to be in, where I'm going to be able to threaten Mask throughout the rest of the game, because they have very little armor left. But Shuko would be getting value this turn and is not. If I could have attacked with a Phoenix, if I still had Shuko, I could have paid 1 to activate FaB, pick up my Phoenix Flame for 2, which gets over Brave Forge Bracers and under that Glistening Steel Blade, and I still would have had my Rising Resentment to attack for 3. In hindsight, I don't agree with blocking with Shuko. I think I should have blocked with Mask of Momentum. And I understand why I did it, but I don't agree with it. Here, Dawnblade for 3. I'm not super concerned about what they're going to do. They still have the bolters. So this could just be another Dawnblade for 3. It gets a counter. I, in making this decision now, would block with a Soul Beat Strike, because I am not going to be able to use 2 of them well, and I don't want to give my Dory opponent the option of stopping my attack. So if I were doing this now, I'd block with a Soul Beat Strike. Yeah, they attack react over it, but I'm taking resources out of their hand for them to just do stupid damage that I don't care about. The other option is blocking with equipment, because I'm not really expecting to trigger Mask Momentum anymore, because now the on hit is they die. This line also prevents Reprise. Overpower for +2. Cool. That was your whole hand. They get to do Bolters here, which they will do. They get to Brave Forge. They get to Dawnblade, and it's Dawnblade for 4. And here I won't be blocking, because with 0 resources, the only thing they can do is Iron Song Response, which does nothing if it has no Reprise. So even though Soul Beat Strike on its own is kind of a dumpy card, here it's just 2 damage. And if I block with it, it is potentially I get Iron Song response, I take 4 damage anyway, and I don't get to attack with it. Here we're just pushing damage. 1, 1, 3, 3, 1, 2. Because we're just trying to get them low enough that I win the game. Mask momentum is gone because, like I said, they're low enough that now the on-hit is you die. I'm never going to draw a card for mask momentum because if I hit enough times, they'll lose the game. So we're just pushing damage now. And they sink below this. That's fine. We get to activate 5 for 1 point of damage. Here we are still pushing lethal, which is great. The Dawnblade only has 1 counter, so if they keep 1 card to attack with, that isn't lethal. And if we get enough cards out of their hand, then they either only get to attack with Dawnblade, not threatening attack reaction, we can reset, or they don't get to attack with it at all, which is the goal. Late game Dorinthea, if you can afford to not block that and not die, that's great because you want to, if you can deny them cards in hand to attack with Dawnblade, no matter how many counters it has, they'll lose the counters. So here we go to 4, that's fine. We are setting up for Spreading Flame, spreading the Cinderclaw. We're going very wide here. We're going to send a lot of 2s, which is great because it's lethal, and because Dory's cards all block for 3, they're losing value. Even if we don't win the game here, we're just stripping the hand, and that's all we want to do. Sigil brings them up to 5, that's fine, because this Kadachi takes them to 3, this Kadachi will take them to 2, the Phoenix Flame will attack for 2, so they have to block this, and then Ravenous Rabble will take them to 1, put them in Kadachi lock, and then the game is just over. You can hear me not turning my microphone off for recording this game. This is my first time with OBS. This doesn't matter. We're going to send 7. We're going to block, or we're going to activate Snapdragons. Blaze Headlong, but if we'd used the Scalers earlier, you strike for 5 go again, 4/4 still wins the game. And that's it. That is how you beat Dorinthea. Sometimes you do get the hands where you can block really well, that's a good example, and sometimes you don't care what Dorinthea is going to do because you'll just crack back for more than they have. Join me next time for more mid-level FaB gameplay.